Welcome to the Positive Pants Podcast. Mindset, motivation and inspiration to help you find your positive pants. It's time to let go of negative thinking, understand why you do what you do and stop the self-sabotage with your host, Fran Excel.
Welcome to the show. As always, it's Fran Excel, your resident subconscious success mentor, helping you find your very own pair of positive pants so you can get out of your own way and live a life that you love. If you want to stop self-sabotaging your own success and let go of the stress, then you are in the right place, my friend. Make sure you download your free Stressed to Success guided meditation at bit.ly/stress to success as my little gift to you just for being here. Please do subscribe, share and review. It really, really helps people that need to hear this message find us, and I so appreciate it. In the show notes, you'll also find details of how you can work with me and where you can get your mitts on my meditations, products, printables, programs. You can find it through the link in my bio on Instagram, which is my favorite place to hang out. So please do come join me over there at I'm Fran Excel. Tag me in your takeaways, slide into my DMs. I'm here for it. So that's the formalities over, my love. So let's jump to the content. I had said I would be properly back to work last week. That didn't quite go according to plan. So I did what was necessary, but I'm definitely still feeling a need to kind of hibernate in a little cozy cocoon at the moment. And you might be too, which is totally flipping normal, considering behind the scenes I'm going through one of the biggest life upheavals I've ever dealt with that's naturally going to take its toll on mind and body. So looking after yourself is always going to be essential in those times. So if you're going through big life stuff too, I'm sending you so much love and the biggest hug because it sucks. But if you're on my email list, you will have had a handy pep talk last week reminding you that you are far braver than you're giving yourself credit for, and you've absolutely got this. But besides that, let's be honest. Once the glorious twinkliness of the festive season dissipates, you're left with this cold, wet, wintry weather, not much greenery around, and short days with not enough sunlight. And it got me thinking about all the ways that we blindly follow these timelines and time frames that more often than not weren't ours in the first place, right? This whole thing about January being when you have to start everything, when the reality is you can start whenever you flipping want. And if you read anything about the laws of nature or cycles, winter is supposed to be for slowing down and hibernating, and spring is when you pop into action, which actually, when you think about it, makes a lot more sense. So I've decided I'm going to try that a bit on for size this year. But there are many other timelines that so many people seem to really tear themselves up about and beat themselves up for. A lot of societal shoulds and what not hitting those timelines means about you as a person. A lot of the time they're related to age and gender, which is also not particularly modern. So I think it's time we break some of them down and look at them a little differently and perhaps give ourselves a little reframe on these things. So this is something that I've actually been pretty passionate about most of my life, my adult life. My dissertation at university doing sociology and media and how media shapes society, etc., was all about women and aging in the media. How society has let women believe that they are second-class citizens after a certain age, and that it's all downhill for all of us after a certain age. And this is a crock of you-know-what. Women are taught to fear and do everything in their power to prevent an aging appearance from about the age of 20. And again, when you really take a second to step back from this conditioning, it's madness. So what's the solution? This is thankfully starting to happen, and I look for this stuff, but we really need real women being championed and showcased in advertising, on the TV, in movies. Less filtered lifestyles, right? And if you look now, like, I'm loving how many women in their 50s are still being championed as sex symbols, and older as well. Hello, Helen Mirren. And Emma Thompson, you're doing really well. And I'm so here for it. But there's still work to do to create the societal shift, because really is our attitude to it. There are so many stunningly beautiful women at any age. So the way I do this is I follow body positive and age positive people on Instagram, and I make sure that I'm filling my feed with their glorious confidence, right? And when I want to shift the way I see something, this is what I'll do. I'll seek the evidence that it's possible. I'll marinate myself in places where these things are being celebrated. It has a profound shift on how you see things. It also has a profound shift on genuinely how you see the world, because that becomes your echo chamber, which is different to going, oh God, everyone's saying this and everyone believes that women shouldn't age, etc., etc. And it's simply not true. We just need to find the voices that fit with the way we want to see the world, right? And challenge the way we see it, challenge the way other people see it. That's the magic. So I seek places that are diverse, championing things that are not traditionally championed, challenging society's status quo. And it really, really works. And it's actually quite profound because all of a sudden, these things that you feared becoming are seen in a really positive light, and you don't feel like everyone thinks it's a negative, right? Or not normal. Insert whatever word is right for you, depending on what's popped into your head as I'm talking, right? So we have all of this around our appearance going on. And on top of that, let's throw in that you should be married by a certain age. You should be in a relationship. You should own a home by a certain age. You should have kids by a certain age. You should be on a certain salary with a certain title by a certain age. You should be making 6 figures in your business in a certain time frame. And like I said before, guess what? It's a crocker, you know what? It's all other people's conditioning and opinion, right? And it's our own conditioning, yeah? And none of this takes on any nuance of what we actually might want into account, or the negative potential aspects that could be involved in having that thing, yeah? And it's so harmful to people's mental health, mostly because of the judgment we might feel from other people, and what we make it mean about us if we don't hit that target. And usually it's to do with us, our own worthiness, our own worth in general in the world, right? But it can cause people to stay in jobs that they hate, stay in relationships where they aren't happy, get themselves into debt trying to find the quick fix to the timeline, to live beyond their means. Like, essentially, society says it's better for you to have these things and be miserable than not have these things and be happy. That it's more worthwhile, that you are more worthwhile if you have these things. We have to challenge this stuff, right? Because really, when you look at it in the cold light of day, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's another one of these unconscious thought processes that hasn't been questioned. As if you're some way a failure if you're single in your 30s, or you rent instead of own, like all of this stuff. As if you should stay in a job that you hate purely for the salary and the title. That job you chose when you were still in school and didn't even know yourself and your brain wasn't fully formed. But what if people knew it was okay to change careers at any age, even if it means an initial drop in salary or title? In all likelihood, it wouldn't stay that way for long because you're already super skilled and that will shine through. But you could be happy and love going to work every day. And what if people knew it was absolutely okay to leave a relationship that's not making you happy, or even abusive potentially, and that you're likely to learn really important lessons and might meet someone else who you can be a bazillion times happier with, or, heaven forbid, be single by choice, or choose not to have children. Right? I hope that when I'm saying this, it's kind of landing how weird this is. And if you've been with me for any amount of time, you'll know how fundamental I believe challenging our unconscious programming and thought processes and our conditioning is. This, in my opinion, really is the key to living the happiest life that you can. The key to finally being able to love yourself and respect yourself, to make sure you're surrounding yourself with the right people, to finding your confidence, all these things that we all want, right? So much of this conditioning is in our way. And the more you work on yourself, the more you know yourself. The more happiness, peace, calm, joy, potential, possibility into your life. The possibilities really are endless. So grab your journal later and start thinking about some timelines that you've bought into that might in actual fact be a crocker you-know-what. Seek people who have been through what you've been through and come out the other side. You know, those people who are a little bit of a step ahead of you. You'll notice they're often a little more glowy afterwards, right? They have that glow up. It's also important to talk things through with people who are going through similar situations so you can support each other. You don't have to do any of this alone. And seek the stories of people who've done the scary thing that goes against the grain of what society tells you should want or have, and see where you land with your opinion and beliefs without the clouds of these random societal timelines that a lot of the time don't really make any sense logically, that have gone in the way and clouded decisions. It's your life and you are far more in control of it than you believe. If, and it's a big if, you challenge your conditioning and programming with curiosity, especially at this time of year when you're being bombarded with all the ways you don't fit the bill or aren't enough. It goes back to your values. Like, what is more important to you? What is it that you want more in your life? Is it what other people might think? Or is it feeling happy in your own skin and in your own life? You are glorious and you get to create your own timeline. So if you got value from this and you know in your gut that now is the time to step up and start rewiring your thinking and start changing things for yourself, then join the Positive Pants Toolkit app and community so you can work out what needs to happen to get you from where you're at right now to the action-taking success you know you can be. And if you want my eyes and ears on your problems, then I work with people one-on-one and through my programs. You can find all the details to join the toolkit or book in a call in the show notes, the link in my bio on Instagram, and on my website, franexcel.com. So stop waiting for if and when and choose to change things now because you can. I'm here to